Hi guys, today I'm going to be reacting to my championship predictions for the season that's just ended. Obviously the playoffs has just started, so let's get started. 24th I had Derby and the thing is 21st. Of course, a lot of sins can be seen when a club obviously gets relegated from a division, but after everything that Derby's been through, they did themselves proud, to be honest. They even being with a South after their 21 points deduction to have a chance to skin up with 3 games to go. They've done themselves absolutely proud, and yes, I hope everything gets sorted out with them. So 23rd Hull and the finish 19th. I think Hull definitely would have took that with their first season being back in the championship. They're were pretty inconsistent where they would go on a run with where they will win 4 in a row but then lose 4 in a row. And yes, but overall they were comfortably safe of relegation, and they'll be back for a second season. So this is by far my worst prediction. Huddersfield had to finish in the third relegation and placed 22nd. They went and finished third. First of all, if there's any Huddersfield fans watching this, I just want to apologise to you, as you've obviously blown everyone's expectations out of the window for you, and now, well, technically the playoffs and finally now 2 games away from the Premier League. What the unbelievable achievement! I don't even think this was a bad prediction, and in my defence, and dashing anybody else, there are loads of people who were putting Huddersfield 20 in the bottom 3, but fair play to them. Their recruitment was spot on. Defensively they were a lot better than they were last season. So 21st I had Peterborough, and they finished 22nd in the final relegation players. And Peterborough obviously did have a bad season, as they obviously went down straight back down to League One. They're defensively where those people thought they would, they came unstuck, conceded way too many goals, and to be fair, they didn't even score as many as goals that I would have thought. I was under goals a game, and for me they stuck with Ferguson too long. I think that McCann came in and made an impact, but they've got to try and get back to League One if they weren't good enough. But I think McCann did a bit better when he came in. So 20th I had Blackpool, and I think it's 16th. I think for their first season back in the Championship, Blackpool done really well, finishing mid-table, when flirting with relegation, anything like that. And I thought at the start of the season that Blackpool were the team out of the 3 that came off that football was most conducive to Championship football, if you got me, what they could bring up, and they did it, and fair play to them. Chris Lee got his recruitment spot on and everything like that, and I think that can they go again next season. So 19th I had Coventry, and the thing is 12th. Again, I think Coventry had another good season, especially with being their second season back at Championship level. I think it was I could be wrong, the highest rank in 10 years or something like that. Was obviously brilliant. And if anything, they were flirting with the idea of finishing in the top 6. But I think if you offer Coventry fans at the start of the season, bang on middle of the table, they would have took that. So 18th Bristol City, and the finished 1 place high, what was 17th. I think it was a fairly inconsistent season for Bristol City, where they will win some games, lose some games, and that is obviously why they finished 17th. I think they've definitely got the makings of a good squad there, with the likes of Semenyo doing well. I remember when he was a Sunderland, Vyman, players like that, and I think that maybe they can if they can sort their squad out, they can maybe finish high next season. So 17th I had Blackburn Rovers, and the thing is 8th. To be honest, I'm not mad, because I think that's where they thought they were going to finish. First half of the season, it looked like they were absolutely going to finish in the automatic place. I think they were top of the league at one point, and they went on remarkable run. But then second half of the season, it all fell off really. And I think I saw someone was saying that if they continue, if the second half of the season, if they just play one half of the season with the second half, they would finish 19th. So I got right in the second half, but wrong in the first half, and the finish 8th. I think if you give Blackburn that at the start of the season, they would have took it, but I think it'll be frustrating that they didn't make the playoffs at least. So yeah. 16th, I put Preston on the finish 13th. I think that at first, obviously, they had a tough start to the season. That McAvoy coming in, should have got someone else, but I think they got rid of him and they got Ryan Lowe, what was obviously a lot better for them. And it was still a mixed bag of results, but I still think they've done okay. And I think that bringing some 13th from the Championship is respectable for Preston. So yeah. 15th, I have Birmingham, I think it's 20th. I think it was another disappointing season for Birmingham. Obviously, I think it's 20th. They had some heavy defeats. Like, I can remember when they got beat 6-1 of Blackpool or something like that. And obviously, they're still, have their ownership problems and doom and gloom going around that next season for them. So, it could be a long, hard season. So, yeah. 14th, I have Barnsley in the finish 24. What a dreadful season it was for Barnsley after obviously last season. They had the season of their lives, finishing fifth in the playoffs, and it was a gamble that appointing managers that obviously don't know. Like, obviously they lost Ismail, they lost more their best player, and it all suffered into them getting relegated, and to be able to probably one of the worst teams in Championship history, if I'm being honest. So yeah, they've got bounced back at the first attempt to say it. To be able to don't, to be honest, but let's see what happens. So yeah. 13th, they had Nottingham Forest and they finished 4th. What a season I had for Nottingham Forest. When under Chris Hughton, right at the start of the season, it looked like, let's face it, they were going to be in a relegation battle. And when the sacked him and got Steve Cooper, I think that was just the expectation for most Forest fans. Just make sure they stay in the Championship. And the fact that they were still talking about perhaps getting on my promotion going into the final couple of weeks of the season was unthinkable, and they've had a fantastic season. And to be honest, I might get paid for it. I'm backing Nottingham Forest to go all the way and reach the Premier League for the playoffs. That's who I think will win the playoffs. So yeah. 12, I had Reading and the thing is 21st, a disappointing season for Reading. What obviously culminated with them just avoiding relegation. Obviously, they did have a points deduction, what nobody could have factored in at the start of the season, and yes, but I think I saw where they would have went down if Derby didn't have their points deduction. But Reading is going to be a tough summer for them. They've obviously got to find out who's going to be manager. I think I saw on the final day they've only got 9 contracted players going into next season. Well, it could be a tough season for them next season, but I guess this season they did the job, stayed in the Championship. Can they do better next? So yeah. 11th, I had Stoke and the finished 14th. I think that Stoke, it was another disappointing season. Since they've came down from the Premier League, they've never finished in the top half of the Championship. What is it really bad for them, and they need to eventually escape it and get back to the Premier League. And as well, one thing I will say about Stoke is that how can them keep underachieving with that squad of players? I will never know. So yes, another disappointing season for Stoke, finishing 14th. So yeah. 10th, I had Swansea and they finished 15th. But I think, to be honest, it was a transitional season. At Swansea, especially after Russell Martin changing with the wheeler, Steve Cooper played to Russell Martin. They had obviously a lot of key players Ayew and Lowe left over the summer, and I think that it was a transitional season. And I do think that the Swansea squad will continue to get better as going into next season, and you never know, they maybe could push for promotion. So yes, I think a transitional season what they'll take, but they'll want to do better going into next season. So yeah. 9th, I had Luton and they finished 6th. Fair play to Luton and Nathan Jones for getting in the top 6, and I think that they had one of the smallest budget in the league to be competing at the top is absolutely unbelievable. And obviously they drew 1-1 against Huddersfield, so you never know, they could be playing in the Premier League next season. But just think, 8 years ago, the rise they've had is absolutely unbelievable, and fair play to them. And they're another team who got their recruitment spot on. I did have a good feeling about them. I didn't think they would make the top 6, but I think they would do well. But fair play play on one small budget to be competing at the top is brilliant. So yeah, 8th had Cardiff, and the thing is 18. A very disappointing season for Cardiff. I think in the first half of the season, it did look like they were going to be under threat again, relegated. But I think Steve Morrison came in and did well, like sort of levelled it out a little bit, if you get me, like getting it a bit more consistent. Got some decent players in like Hugo, players like that. What Miyashita did enough to make sure that they did enough to like finish like in a comfortable place in the Championship, that they wouldn't go down, but I did expect better from them, and I think if you ask Cardiff fans, it has been a good season, they were saying no. So yeah, 7th had Middlesbrough, and they were bang on 7th. I think, of course, they obviously like parted ways with Neil Warnock right at the start in December, was it? And I think that proved to be difficult, as they were really good under Chris Wilder, and was very unlucky not to make a playoff place. Obviously, I've saw the retained list of let a few players go, and I think that they need to now like build to make sure that they can do it again. And under Chris Wilder, they've got a very good manager, and I think that they should be in line if they get the right players in for another playoff push, perhaps even on that push next season. So yeah, 6th I had Millwall, and the finished 9. I think Millwall done well to take it to the final day of the season where they still had a chance, but perhaps they had. I think they drew too many games, but they had one too many draws. But overall, I think it's another decent season for Millwall. 9th place, what I think it would have offered them. So yeah, 5th I had QPR, and then it finished 11th. These did look like a good team at the start of the season, and it did look like they could have got in the playoffs, but they had a lot, but they had a lot of injury crises. But I think they used about 4 or 5 goalkeepers because they had that much of injury crisis. Bringing goalkeepers up sitting at home, and some of the best players got injured. What cost them in the end, and obviously they did let Warburton go. I personally wouldn't, but what they've got to do is now like get the right man for them, who them think can come in and like help them maybe like get in the playoff next season. And I do think they've got a good squad there and recruit properly. So yeah. 4th I had Sheffield Wednesday, the finished 5th. Of course, them actually had a disastrous start to the season where it looked like I never thought they would go down, but it looked like they could have maybe done what we done a few years ago and go down. But after they got rid of Jukanovic and they got Paul Heckingbottom, they improved. One of the best home records in the league, and to be fair to them, they did enough to finish in the top 6, and obviously they're playing Nottingham Forest for the chance to go to Wembley, so fair play to them really. So yeah, 3rd I had Bournemouth, and they finished 2nd. They obviously went up what was their main objective, but I think they would have been disappointed that they got into the position where they could have bottled it, where they had a brilliant first 15-20 games, then they started to struggle, if you get what I mean, and were kind of inconsistent. But in Scott Parker's defence, they got over the line and they're back in the Premier League. What was fair play to them. That was their objective at the start of the season, and I'm sure they would have been happy to do it. So yeah, I mean, thing I will say, I had them 2nd up until I did this prediction video. They got bottled it for some reason. I don't know why. So yeah. 2nd I had West Brom, the finished 10th. An awful season for West Brom, and they weren't good enough to like be anywhere near like the Magritte, and they need a major rebuild going into next season should they want a chance for the top 6. So yeah, and then 1st I had Fulham, and they won the league. Fair play to Fulham, they had the best team in the league, and Mitford scored 40 odd goals, and they did deserve to go best team in the league by a mile. So yeah, so obviously I only got 2 right. Fulham and Middlesbrough, what I did get a few out, one off of the league, unfortunately. I had Derby to finish bottom, the things that placed higher. So yeah, overall I think I did okay really, with some shockers obviously, Blackburn and Huddersfield being the 2 main ones. And the next time you'll see me is like for the playoff final, predict at 11 what I'm going to do on Thursday, because if you don't know, I'm actually going down to Wembley. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'll see you next time, so like, subscribe, view, comment, and see, yeah.